Once again, welcome to economic class. This is the revision class for the standard time. Today's date is 15 Jan 2021, and here we are going to do the revision part for the chapter number 3, Poverty as a Challenge. So here we are going to see the whole chapter in a crystal clear in a notes wise form. Chapter number 3, Poverty as a Challenge. In this, our today's topic is revision for this chapter. In our daily life, we came across with the many poor people such as the landless, laborers in the village, peoples living in juggies, daily wage workers at construction site, child laborers in dhabas, rickshaw pullers, domestic servant, cobbler, beggars, etc. About 30 crore people live in poverty. So what is poverty actually? So poverty is a situation in that the person is unable to fulfill the basic needs of the life. So what are the basic needs of the life? They are just like food, clothing, shelter, water, medical care, education and other determined quality of the life. So here these short revision points are very important. You can go through it and have a crystal clear definition for the poverty. Poverty has been both the dimension economical and social, and the indicators of poverty. Now poverty is looked through other social indicators like literacy rate, lack of access to health care, lack of job opportunities, lack of access to safe drinking water, sanitization and sanitation. Nowadays, the concept of social exclusion is becoming very common in an analysis of poverty. Social exclusion means generally the poor are excluded in the community of better of moving further vulnerability. It describes the great probability of certain communities or individuals of becoming or remaining poor in the coming years. The people from the backward caste, individuals like widows, physical handicaps are more vulnerable to this. They possess greater risk at the time of the natural disasters because already they are in the worst conditions. What is poverty line? It is the based on the income or consumption level. A person is considered a poor if he or she is earning the income which falls below the minimum level necessary to satisfy the basic need. So the data already we had seen, right? This data may be vary. It's from the 2009 to 10, whatever it is mentioned in the textbook, right? You can go ahead at the calorie level in urban and rural area. Poverty line is estimated periodically by NSSO, which refers National Sample Survey Organization. Moving further, estimates of poverty. So, what is the estimate of poverty? Is given here. You please go through it, and after that you can understand about the poverty in India. Is reduced percentage wise, but the number wise it is huge. By seeing the facts and figure is going to be crystal clear. Already this topic I had clearly explained you in the previous video. Social groups which are most vulnerable to the poverty are SCs, STs, it's mentioned here, and inequality of income within a family. Poor family, old people, women, female children are denied equal access to the family available resources. Whatever the resources they are having, they are not having the equality to access them. They are the poorest of the poor. Next, interstate disparities. The proportion of the poor people is not the same in every state. In 20 states and Union Territory, the poverty ratio is less than the national average. Then we are going to see the two states, Orissa and Bihar, are the poorest states of India with the poverty ratio of 47% and 43% respectively. So here we are seeing here the two states, the poorest states of India, and how the interstate disparities are here. Next, global poverty scenario. There has been a substantial decline in the global poverty. However, it is marked with the great regional differences. Poverty has declined more in China and Southeast Asian countries. World Bank has defined the poverty as the people earning less than so and so poverty. So here we are going to see about how the World Bank is estimating the poverty. Next, we are going to see the causes of poverty. So the slide is presenting you the two causes. First, we are going to see about the causes of poverty and their effect. There are a number of the causes for the widespread poverty in India. One historical reason is the low level of economic development under the British colonial administration. There are some other reasons also, which are as following. First one we are going to discuss in the deep. Already the first one is the historical one was there. In that the whole India was under the control of the British people, and the British government was using all our resources and benefits for their own use. Other reasons, rapid growth of the population. This is the very challenging cause of poverty. That's a rapid growth of population. Particularly among the poor is considered a major cause of Indian poverty. As the population is rapidly increasing, so it's one of the major factor for the poverty, because the resources are limited for the people and the persons are more and more to use to them. So there will be the scarcity of resource and other facility, and they leads to be in a poor status. Second point, our agriculture sector has failed to generate much employment opportunity for the farm laborers. So the poverty is still existing. In our previous chapter also, we had seen about unemployment. In that we had seen seasonal unemployment, disguised unemployment, and so on. Similarly, our industry could not provide much job for the job seeker. So here is also another factor. From the farms and from the industry, we are not generating that amount of the jobs, so the peoples are remaining poor. Next, point number third, one of the major cause of the poverty is the unequal distribution of land and other resources. The third topic is speaking about the inequality in the distribution of the land and the other resources. Various land reform measures introduced after the independence could not improve the life of the millions of the rural people, and they remain poor, and the rural poor because of the poor implementation of this. That's why it is also one of the major factors for the cause of poverty, that is the unequal distribution of land as well as the other resources. Next, going towards the fourth point, social factor. What are the different social factors which are also responsible for the poverty in India? So people in India, including the very poor, spend a lot of money on the social occasion like marriages, festival, and so on. Poor people hardly have any saving. They are thus forced to borrow the money from the landlord or from the zamindar, and after that they are unable to repay it. because of the poverty and they become victim of independence. The joint family system has prevented people from doing hard work. Step taken by the government for the poverty alleviation. Our government strategies to provide different kinds of different things so that they can reduce the poverty. So we are going to move in the two to discuss about the poverty alleviations programs. Next, one, promotion of the economic growth, and two, targeted poverty alleviation programs. Moving further, so here we are going to see one by one the poverty alleviation program. To address the poor, a need for targeted anti-poverty programs was strongly felt, which are as following. Already I told you in examination there will be a question of the 5 marks which speaks about that. Write the feature of any program or anti-poverty alleviation program. First, we are going to see which are mentioned in your textbook. First, PMRY. That's the Prime Minister Rozgar Yojana. The aim of this program, which was started in 1993, was to create the self-employment opportunity for educated unemployed youth in a rural area and a small town. The details already placed in the textbook. You please read it and get acknowledged to yourself to the particular concept. Point number second, the Rural Employment Generation Program, that's REGP. It was launched in 1995 to create the self-employment opportunities in rural area, because still the poverty is more in rural areas. Third, Swarna Jayanti Gram Swaraj Yojana. It's done SGSY, which was started in 1999. The program aims to bring the assistance poor families above the poverty line. Fourth one, Pradhan Mantri Gramoday Yojana, that's a PMGY, was launched in 2000. Fifth one, AAY, that's a very important, Antyodaya Anna Yojana, for the poorest of the poor and elders. Next, sixth one, National Food for Work Program, NFW, which was started in 2004. And the seventh one, which is the very important, and every year the 5-mark question is based on this scheme, the National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. It has been changed now, the name has been changed, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. It was passed in September 2005, and the Act provides the 100 days assured employment every year to every rural household in 200 districts, and later on it was ahead. So dear cadets, please make a note of this. This poverty alleviation programs are very important. In examination, for 1 marks question can be there. Any policy and program of the government can be asked. Their full form can be asked. Just first one I am giving an example for you. Primary, right? Then secondary and then tertiary. So 3 sectors are there. In the 3 sector, how the schemes are working here. PMRY, that's a Prime Minister Rozgar Yojana. So it will be written, state the full form of PMRY, which I was speaking, primary. So primary, that the primary is having the full form of Prime Minister Rozgar Yojana. It can be asked for 3 marks also. Write the features of any poverty alleviation program implemented by Government of India. or anti-poverty measures. Like that, anyone can be asked in examination. Next, the challenges ahead. Though the poverty has declined in India, poverty reduction remains India's most complex challenge. Right? We will have to do something special to fight against the wide regional disparities. We must broaden the definition of poverty from a minimum subsistence level of living to the reasonable living of living. Bigger challenges before us are providing healthcare, education, and job security for all and achieving gender equality. So, dear cadet, once again we are moving in the recapitulation. I will just recapitulate all the points one by one. In this chapter, in the revision part, we had seen the number of the stories, which speaks about how the poverty is called as a challenge. So poverty is called as a challenge. One question is there, why poverty is called as a challenge? For the 3 marks, the question can be appear in the examination. In that you have to speak about that, why poverty is called as a challenge. Next point, the definition of poverty. So in that you have to write, poverty is a situation in that the person is unable to fulfill the basic need of his life. In the basic need, in the bracket you have to write the food, shelter and clothing. Right? Next, in this chapter we have seen the indicators of poverty. What are they? So here the slide is speaking. Next, we have seen the vulnerability, which peoples are suffering. Then we had seen how the poverty line is estimated and what is the poverty line. In that already we have talked about the APL and BPL, above poverty line and below poverty line, and how by the calories in the rural areas and in the urban areas, how the poverty line is estimated, and by whom it is estimated. The name of the organization already we have seen. Next, how the poverty is estimated, we have seen. Next, interstate disparities, we have seen, and we are knowing now the Orissa and Bihar are the poorest states of India with the poverty ratio of 47% and 43%. The data may be vary according to the textbook. Next, global poverty scenario we have seen, and who is ranking the poverty already we have seen. Next, causes of poverty are very important. Every year the different causes of poverty are being asked in the question in a different form. So you please read it. The first one is the historical, second one is the rapid growth of population, third one is the agriculture sector, which is failing to produce the job opportunity, as well as the industrial area also failing to create the job opportunities. Next, third point, the unequal distribution of the land and the other resources is also the major factor of causing the poverty. After that, the social factors which are including the people and how the people are spending a lots of amount of money in the different celebration or occasions, which leads them to become poor or to suffer with the problem. Next, the government is taking the different steps in that they are having the anti-poverty measures to reduce the poverty. And lots of policies and program has been successful by the government for the reduction of the poverty. Next, in the poverty elevation program, we have seen the 7 point. The first one is the Prime Minister Rozgar Yojana. Second one is the Rural Employment Generation Program. Third one is the Swarna Jayanti Swarojgar Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Gramoday Yojana, fourth one. AAY, fifth one. NF WP is sixth one, and last one is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. It was the old data from the old textbook I had taken, that's why it is showing National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, but you have to go with the new one from the textbook only. Next, the challenges ahead are there to provide the better medical care, education, job security, and to achieve a gender equality. Next, in summary, you have seen in this chapter that the poverty has many dimensions. Normally, this is measured through the concept of poverty line. Next, through this concept, we analyze the main global and national trends in poverty. But in recent years, analysis of the poverty has been becoming rich through a variety of new concepts like social exclusion. Similarly, the challenges becoming bigger is the scholars are broadening the concept into a human poverty. Lastly, I want to tell to each and everyone, revise the concept very properly. After that, in the next revision point, we are going to see the question answers of this chapter in a detailed way. Till then, be safe and secure at your home. Thanking to each and everyone. Jai Hind.